All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. Man, I'm actually really surprised to see how things looked here, actually. On my last video, I was a little bullish on GTII. Again, obviously, you know a lot of my rules mean, get over the 8 and the 20, do a thing more than just one day, this and that, right? But yeah, I actually was, I really thought we were going to confirm this candle a little better. Honestly, I didn't think we were. I even started talking about maybe regretting that I didn't buy at the 95 cent mark. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'll go over a little bit of why I was a little more hopeful, why I'm actually surprised. You can hear my voice, right? Normally I kind of come into these videos in this like, I'm not here to say I got it right last video, stuff like that, right? Like that's not my game. But yeah, I'm surprised the last 4 days looked this way. And I'll say one thing before we get into the technical side, right? I've always kind of thought that this stock and the other stock, right? Like they're what I call the lotto ticket stocks, right? And I say that with all due respect to everyone that's holding either one, right? But generally when the market starts to slow down, these kind of tickers start to kind of pick up. And I'm really surprised to see the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, the Nasdaq kind of slow down, and these slow down with it. So I don't know if that means it's more than just a cool down or what it is, but yeah, more than anything, I am surprised that this didn't do better. And even with Enzc, which we'll get to a little bit later, I actually thought that like even a recovery swing would happen by now. So yeah, little bit longer of an intro than normal, but real quick, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We're going to take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how this thing is setting up short term. We do have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines, as well as some diagonal trend lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this thing with your friends, comment good or bad. Anything you can do really does help me out, but I swear, just giving me your time is super appreciated, all right? And look, I'm not perfect, I'm not all-knowing, and like more than anything, I'm not here to like bash, hate, or fear monger. You know what I mean? Like I know there's a lot of passion in these tickers, okay? So look, let's get going, and I'm gonna just zoom out a little bit, right? So, look, I was a little skeptical on this move, right? It was a real big up and way more of a down than I wanted to see. That was a little easier to believe. That these 4 days would come. Okay, you with me? Again, because if you're gonna make a big move like this, if you're gonna break the 8, you're gonna break a downtrend. I'm expecting a good, decent confirmation, right? I'm at the very minimum expecting you to hold the downtrend. I'm expecting you to hold the 8 moving average. I'm expecting you to hold even at least at the very, very last 50% candle, right? So when all that didn't happen, game over for me. In a lot of ways, it's funny that I didn't put the same emphasis on this one. Because as I said, all of that, I kind of realized none of that actually happened on this candle. Because again, we break the 8, we break the downtrend, all right? We unfortunately don't hold the downtrend. We don't hold the 8. And, arguably, we were close to holding 50%. That might be the only difference. Like, this bad boy lost 2/3 of it, right? It definitely lost about 66% of the candle, kept maybe a third of it, right? Rough numbers. I'm not here trying to, like, calculate the exact spot and all that sort of nonsense, right? But I think the fact that this held a little bit better and was closer to the 8, I think that's what maybe gave me this false confidence, And look, we actually gap up over the 8, right? Like this day opens up here and then closes down here, right? So even the next day had a little bit of a fool out for sure, but yeah, I am surprised that we're down here. I really, really am. I'll honestly say that. I thought maybe we would peak this 20 moving average or maybe this 145 line. That actually really was what I was saying on the last video. So Yeah, is what it is. I'm just kind of looking at everything else, and I mean, really nothing else looks that good, right? One of the things I'm seeing is this is a divergence right here. And again, divergence is fancy word for two lines going away from each other, right? But it seems like the MACD wants to keep slipping down. Look, 38 on a normal stock would be close. That's not even at 30, right? Like there's still potentially a little bit of room for this thing to come down, right? And again, we are, man, not even again. So we are now under, and obviously we're still in the middle of the week. There's still 2 days left, right? But this week has us under the 200 moving average line, and that is not a good thing. All right, because that will put us under all 5 moving averages. 8 looks like it still wants to be coming down. These haven't even started moving down yet, right? So losing the 200 would get me really scared, and it would actually make me even more scared for next week, because from there we actually might be starting to talk about this like high 70-cent range. But the really important thing here is for this stock to close at 0.972 by Friday. All right. Tomorrow, if it goes down a little bit, that's fine. Tomorrow, if it goes up a little bit, that's fine. Friday needs to close at 0.972. Otherwise, we're under the 200 moving average. And my next week assumption when I make this video over the weekend, we're going to start talking about like, we got to hold the 200. And look, I've said this on a number of different stocks. The 200 on the weekly is a really good point to like monster shoot up, or it's a really scary place to horribly fall down. So like, man, like Friday's close is going to be really critical for GTII. All right, there's not too much more technical stuff I got to say here. Yeah, I think that's actually it here. Hey, again, let me know if you disagree or anything like that. Not here to spread fear, but I'm telling you, the last moving average is critical. I don't even know what other word to say. So, man, I will be honest. All right, I really thought that this 50 moving average was going to hold up just a little better. I genuinely did. Look, I very much said I thought we were going to come down here, right? But man, I kind of also thought we would do at least a little bit of a recovery back to the 8, you know what I mean? But Jesus, sorry, I know I'm silent. I'm just kind of looking down here, right? I mean, look, I said it on the last video, and it's a little bit harder to say it now. I am not sure if we're gonna retest. Like, have we been? Yeah, there's still. Oh man, there's still a lot more down that this thing can go. All right, I gotta draw a couple more lines here. Again, look, as I'm drawing these lines, I'm not here to like fear monger or anything like that. All right, I'm gonna talk these things out as I'm drawing them. Give me a sec, right? I'm just kind of seeing naturally where these things are. You're kind of the next main candle, and where are you compared to that? And look at that, it lines exactly. Okay, let's talk about a couple things. All right, so I just drew 2 new lines, this 4-cent line and the 2-cent line. Okay, I think the 2-cent line might not be like perfect, but again, we'll adjust this if we get closer. I don't really want to talk about 2 cents on a 5-cent stock. Okay, but the problem is when you saw me draw this 4-cent line, okay, I'm going to zoom in. I used this candle right here. That is literally what I drew it off of, right? And when we zoomed out, it ends up hitting pretty much the bottom of this guy, all right? And to me, it tells me that this is going to be I mean, if we lose the 200, which is at 5, the next real quick move is going to be this 420. And then from there, it actually might be a real quick down to here. Maybe this will hold, and I think this is at least worth drawing since it's immediately here. But I literally 2 videos ago thought that the 50 was going to hold, and actually the 50 would give us some sort of like sympathy bounce at least up to the 8 before it came back down. Last video, I also said, look, I really don't think we're going to come to the 8 and the 2. I mean, sorry, what number is that? The 100 and the 200, right? Now that we're this close to the 100, I'm a little scared. Now, look, the 100 is also lining up to my 5 cent support line, right? It was a resistance, it broke, right? It's now a support. I'm hoping the fact that this line lining up with my line might make this a little harder to break, and maybe it does bounce up, right? But truth be told, I don't think we're gonna break 6.2 if this thing goes up. More so, I for sure don't think we're going to break 068, because getting over this will be hard. From there, getting over the 8 moving average and this line will be hard, right? So I know no one wants to hear me talk about a couple pennies on this stock, but like, I'm just kind of keeping things immediately where I see them, right? So, and then again, it would be really, really, really bad if 5 cents is lost, because as quickly as this thing flew when it broke over all the moving averages, it could very, very much drop hard if it loses all the moving averages, okay? And look, on the weekly, what's this 50 moving average at? It's at, you see the over there, you see the 50 average is at 0.052. Losing the 200 at 0.050 also means we've lost the 200, the 50 on the weekly, right? So there is some wild importance on this straight up 5 cent line. I'm not going to draw a new line. I'm not going to do it because obviously this alone is there. So but that's the critical line right here, and I'm telling you, things can get really scary. Because look, going from 5 to 4 is another 20% drop, right? So, and look, less am I telling you to? I'm not telling you to do anything with your money. All right. Again, there's a lot of passion in this stock and all that sort of noise. I know people believe in the science and all that, right? But you can at least use this as like ways to consider averaging down. I am very much not a supporter of averaging down. I would rather average up, average up, average up than sell and then wash and repeat once it's ready to go back up again. But yeah, things there's a lot that can happen in the next couple days, and really it's going to be, is this 5 cent or 5.5 cent going to be a bounce point up, or are we about to lose all the moving averages, and it's fly or die, baby. That is what it is. So hey, kind of be careful with both stocks here. Just my opinions, right? I would love to know what you think, but otherwise, thank you.